Welcome, Northwest Sports Talk 206. I'm your host, Lavelle Big Man Bogan, and next to me is Jalen Little Man Bogan. This little inside joke because neither one of us is small or little by any stretch of the imagination. So anyway, we're just going to kick off before we talk about the Seahawks game. That you're not supposed to panic about the Seahawks and Patriots. I'm going to tell you why you panic on that defense. But just a little brief cap of what happened last night. We have the Atlanta Falcons getting back into the win column. Lost last week to Pittsburgh. They beat most people's Super Bowl pick, the Philadelphia stacked roster Eagles. They say it was a battle of the birds, but how can you have the battle of the birds without the Seattle Seahawks? Just ask me. I don't know. So with that being said, Kirk Cousins looked okay. I was watching a little bit of the game last night, and DJ. Man, the running back looks like a beast. Atlanta looks. Hey, they went to Philly and won on a Monday night. So, man, don't count out the Dirty Birds. But I'm gonna go ahead to my co-host next to me. What did you see last night in the Monday night football game?
Well, I see some pros and cons for both sides, both teams actually. Atlanta, we know they're going to come out running the ball. They got a top 10 line of football this year. A lot of people like to scout it as a generational talent as Bijan.
Yes, absolutely.
They got a great receiving core too. I just feel like it's going to take more time for Kirk to open it up because last year they always had the talent, but they didn't have nobody to get them the ball. Let's say the defense looks good too, but on the other hand, Philly. The problem with Philly, they missed AJ Brown. If you watch Philly or watch football, AJ Brown. As soon as he came to Philly, he broke the receiving record for Philly. Yak, he's a complete receiver. He's a receiver that almost plays every snap in football. After the catch, contested catch, deep balls, all this. And then I think Philly's got away from what they was doing best. In the first half, Saquon was averaging like nine yards a carry, and he only had 8 carries in the whole first half. Wow. So I just feel like if they just kept doing what was working, the game could win a different way. But I think their defense played great. They gave up only gave 22 points, and on the last scoring drive, and even on the last scoring drive, I just feel like they was playing too safe, trying not to give the deep ball. They was getting killed under for like 10, 15 yards a chunk. And then once you get by the red zone, you can't play safe no more. You just gotta once you get to the red zone, you just gotta keep them from scoring inside the 20.
You gotta go for it. You gotta go for it. Yeah, man. Like I said, Bijan, he's a beast. And if Kirk Cousins plays his style of football, doesn't put the ball in harm's way, Atlanta is a team to deal with. But like I said, it's hard to really measure that game because number one, if Saquon Barkley doesn't drop that ball, the game's over. You know what I'm saying? So they dropped the ball. I'm quite sure there's a lot of mistakes during the game. Missing A.J. Brown is a huge piece. So they're coming into a game, kind of like disabled, so to speak, because a beast like him, you're disabled offensively with what he can provide, considering one of the best receivers in football, period. One would argue that him and DK Metcalf, you got DK Metcalf speed and physicality you talk about when it comes to playing the full body work with a receiver. AJ Brown might be it. So one of those things, and it's kind of hard for me to fathom. I can't understand. Now, help me how AJ Brown and DK Metcalf were teammates. Please help me, offensive coordinator, whoever the offensive coordinator was. How come you did not sniff the championship that year? I don't know. You got 2 uncoverable wide receivers, but that's another discussion. So going back a little bit to the Seattle Seahawks, 23-20. I picked the Seahawks to win. I picked them to win convincingly. And this is one of the things why I think they would have won convincingly. Number one, you look at 4 or 5 drop passes that were in crucial moments. Jackson Smith and Jigma dropped a 19-yard pass that would have kept a drive going into the red zone, so to speak. You got DK Metcalf dropping balls, and it was just like, okay, Noah Fant dropped a big one towards the end that could have put the game away as well. So it kind of came, and then you also have there were many times where the Seahawks defense were in the midst of the quarterback and could not bring him down. As great as Boye Mafe is, he does something that drives me nuts. He arm tackles in the backfield a lot. He instead of hitting with his shoulders, he tries to grab and he misses. And he does that often. And I take nothing away from him because he's an absolute stud coming off that corner. And what a steal was Boye Mafe. But there's so many kind of missed opportunities in the backfield. That one, I think, 20-yard run that Boye Mafe had him like 7 yards deep, wrapped him up, and just let him slither down the sideline. So I don't want it to be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Seattle could have put them away, and it could have put them away easily. Now, with the over 200 yards rushing, matter of fact, I think I got the stats here somewhere. I think New England ran for 185 yards. They only passed for 149 yards, and that a New England offensive line is only run blocking. They absolutely suck at pass protection. So they're like 350 pounds across the board. Brought in extra linemen. Our linebackers aren't the biggest. We got a couple of nice-sized defensive linemen, and they ran the ball down our throats. Partly because they don't have a lot of confidence in the run game. So if you're going to attack Seattle, what are you going to do? Drop back and throw 50 times with Witherspoon and Love and all those talented defensive backs? No, you're going to run the ball, and hopefully you can get some momentum. So don't get too caught up in that. And I think it's mostly a scheme. I'm not saying McDonald doesn't have the right scheme, but what I mean is understanding the scheme and your run fits, because he is a new coach, a new coordinating the offense. It's a new playbook, so you're going to have some wrinkles here and there. They are way beyond where they should be, because they seem to, as a defensive flow. But when it comes to the run game, sometimes it's about fits and things of that nature. Seahawks have had some trouble with the pass, and they fix it towards the middle of the season. I believe they will get it fixed. They've got big dogs that will think about. What do you think about that run, that getting hit in the mouth?
Yeah, I mean, Seattle secondary played great that game, but I just feel like with the way they was running the ball, Seattle just had the wrong personnel out. Like I didn't see Williams and Reed in the A gap together at all. In the whole, and all they're bringing in 2 extra tight ends, beefing up the line, and they're just running the ball straight down the middle. Yeah, even the rookie, I didn't see him and Williams. You feel me? Yeah. A and B. Or I see him and Reed A and B. Yeah, your 2 biggest run stoppers or 3 biggest run stoppers was never side by side. It was never both shooting A gaps. And I just feel like that's, and they took advantage of that because they seen that, and now they're just running the ball. And we don't have the biggest linebackers. We only had 2 in the box, even if we did. And I just feel like they just had the wrong personnel out. Secondary play lovely. I didn't even think they had a receiver catch a pass like the 3rd, 4th quarter. So that's one. A lot of the passing was on check downs or little tight end bubble screens. Yeah, which is in the NFL is hard to cover for sure because they be flying fast.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, don't panic about our run defense. I think we did decent against the those that had a couple of ones through the cracks, but it wasn't like they just marched down the field. Now, New England is going to be able to run the ball against anybody. I'm just going to be honest with you. They're going to run the ball against any defense in the NFL. Maybe not 250 yards or whatever the case may be, but they're going to run the ball against everybody. And one of the reasons why is they're limited in their passing attack, right? They're limited in what they do. And some of that has to do with their offensive line. Their offensive line, they play towards their offensive line strength, and that is running and mauling you. They didn't do too well in passing situations, holding up. Seahawks have pressure all day long. So, man, they played in their backfield. But, they found a way. But Seattle made the stop when it now notice up down the field for 4 quarters, got beat up, ran down the throat. But when it came down, I believe it was 4th and 1. I'm not sure what yard line it was on, but to keep it going, and the Seahawks stuffed them. I think was it overtime?
Yeah, it was
overtime. Yeah, overtime. They stuffed them for the game, forced the punt. You know what I mean? So, man, give credit to credit is due. What mental toughness that takes for you to get pretty much bullied the whole game. That just shows you the confidence that every player is dialed in, that there's no quit. There's nothing but fight with the Seahawks. And under Mike McDonald, it is something that was missing Pete Carroll's formula was that fight. And you can tell that people are locked in. They are 2-0. Now, talking about the Seahawks offense for a little bit. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Geno Smith. I'm loving what I'm seeing. Like I said, he had a matter of fact, I think Geno Smith, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure if I have the numbers here, but I think he threw for like 345 yards. You take away some of those key drops, he's well over 100. And had no running game. Matter of fact, I think Zach Charbonnet ran for 38 yards on 14 carries. So he had no run game. They just ran the ball just to keep him honest. I like the fact that he still had 14 carries. Yeah. That shows that Seattle's still committed to it. But you can notice a difference. Now, just we talked about A.J. Brown missing from the Philadelphia Eagles lineup. Boy, did we miss Kenneth Walker III. Now, Zach Charbonnet looked like he had ovens in his feet, or he had some type of disability in his feet as far as him hitting the corner. It just doesn't look like, doesn't have that explosion that Kenneth Walker has. That played a factor in the way. I thought we were going to see. I hope he was healthy. I didn't check the injury report, but what's his name? The third string running back, McIntosh.
Yeah. I know you're talking about.
Yeah. From Georgia. I wanted to see more of him in the game because he's a little bit more elusive and explosive, and it seems like he stays injured. I don't know what it is. I saw him play in the preseason. He looks nice, but he just seems to be always dinged up. But anyways, Zach Charbonnet, like I said, he did what he did. He ran physical. He ran tough. He took on he bucked some people, but it just wasn't enough, as far as for the running game. And we can't put Geno Smith in that predicament. Offensive line is still an issue. I'm still thinking, like I said, it's a chemistry thing because I think talent for talent, they are pretty good. Bradford got dinged for some crazy penalty that stalled a drive. But when I was watching the replay in live, because he picked up and body slammed the defensive end pretty much and got in his face and told him about it. So you like that nastiness, but I think a lot of it is just kind of scheme of communication. It's going to take some of the new pieces to kind of flow together because, they're pretty talented up front. And they're pretty physical as far as the guards. The rookie struggled again. The rookie that had high praises, Chris Hayes, I believe. Was it Christian or Chris Hayes?
It's Chris Hayes.
Chris Hayes, yeah. Coming out of, what college you come from? Utah State? Or Boise? Or where was he come from? It's on the tip of my tongue.
It wasn't.
Anyways, the rookie who was supposed to be one of the best guards to come out, praises from Steve Hutchinson. He struggled. He's struggling out there. He's struggling a little bit to find his way. But like the talent is there. We're going to get better as we see fit. We didn't have a lot of missed false starts or anything like that we had in week 1, so we kind of cleaned that up. Jackson Smith and Jigma looks like the number 1 wide receiver. DK Metcalf is a beast, freak of nature, but Jackson Smith looks like Mr. Reliable. I think he had Jackson Smith got the
targeted like 13 times.
Yeah, I want to say he had 12 catches. Yeah. Him
and DK both did.
Yeah. He was Jackson Smith, 16 catches for 117 yards.
Yeah.
So every time I looked up, Jackson Smith and Jigma. He knows where to be on time. He knows how to run the routes. He's very deceptive. He had a huge drop. How can you fault the guy when you put those type of numbers? Tyler Lockett had some clutches late in the game. Have some one. And that's a matchup nightmare because you're going to lull the teams asleep, focusing on DK, then Jackson Smith, and then all of a sudden here comes Tyler, third option. He gets the man-to-man, and he will exploit that. So I look forward to that. Now, the tight end group, we're not getting a lot of production from. Noah Fant had 1 catch for 15 yards. I see it blowing up on a few run plays by the defensive end, just like looked like there wasn't even no effort. And just, because blocking to me is all about just your manhood against their manhood. It's about 1-2. It's like playing defense in basketball. If you're highly talented, how come you can't play defense? Because you don't really desire to. It's not in your heart to do so. It's a hard thing. And most tight ends have the physical ability to block. You just got to get your nose in there get your butt down and get to it and get after it and want to block. But anyways, they need some help. The rookie from Washington and the rookie from Michigan, they just don't look like they're a threat. We're really missing our tight ends that we let go. We're missing Parkinson and we're missing Disley, and I can see it visually. So that group has to step up. Noah Fant got to step up. So we got to see what did you see in the Seattle game? Just whatever comes to your mind, or what you see, what we shouldn't be overreacting about, or we should be looking forward.
Well, I think a lot of people are overreacting because how close it was who the team was, the Patriots. They haven't been good recently. But, I mean, even if you look at this year, they just beat Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And Cincinnati just walked in KC and took KC to overtime. And the only reason Cincinnati lost to KC is because they had a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. So if you look at it, like, New England, they're not the most complete team, but, like, they do what they do well right now, as in run the ball. And they have a solid defense, too. And even on the offensive side, I just feel like the offense is going to get more open and open. Because, like you said, Geno threw for like 300 plus, but at the same time, he didn't step back 25 times. And if I'm not wrong, I believe Geno's was top 10 in passing every year he started in Seattle.
Yeah.
And he didn't even drop back. Most of these quarterbacks drop back at least 35 times a game. Wow. Getting at least 35 passes off a game.
Wow.
So he only completed 21 out of 25 passes, which is very efficient. And then, like you said, miss Kenneth Walker. So once we get him back, gotta open up the run more, the play action more. Yeah. I just feel like I didn't see. Only thing I didn't like offensively, obviously the new the rookies on the line, but I'm okay with it too because they're not the best right now, but I feel like it's still effort. Like they're not just getting blown by; they're just getting hold-ins or just getting beat, which I like. They're fighting back. But offensively, the only thing I really didn't like was I didn't see DK one-on-one a little too many times and didn't get one ball. When you have a number one receiver and he's 6'3", a freak of nature, runs that fast. Everybody was comparing him to Calvin Johnson early. Those what you go get those type of receivers for. Yeah. When you have one-on-one, you had your last jaw stalled out, and you see him, and you got him on the wide side of the field. You need to throw that ball. You can't especially if you're taking a sack. Because I believe Geno got sacked a couple of times. I didn't like him taking a sack when you got one-on-one with the biggest freak receiver in the league right now. I'm throwing that ball up 90 out of 100 times. I just feel like he should just throw it more. You got back shoulder. You could high point. Yeah. That's one thing I didn't like with offense. But I don't know. I love the offense right now though. Play looks a lot better than it did before, and the defense look like they're flying around.
Yeah. That's one thing I love about the offense is they're taking shots downfield. Yeah, Seahawks fans have been hitting the pavement since Mike Holmgren era. I remember about corners playing man more, press man, and about them taking more shots down the field. And Brian Hubb is aggressive in taking he took about, I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, 4 or 5 shots, like just deep, like bombing it out there. And like I said, one was a blown coverage that you're gonna have with a lot of shifting and a lot of motion and this new hurry up offense. It's not necessarily it's like an up tempo offense where it doesn't allow you to really substitute like you want to. So whatever that they catch you in, they're going to have all types of formations and different motions based off of the package that you have, which is going to make a lot of defenses play basic defense. And you're going to see that often. Now with the offense, be like, okay, we're going to have this nickel up there. We're going to have this out there. And pick your poison. If you want to play a lot of nickel, we're going to run the ball. If you want to play a lot of other than we'll sit back and run it down your throat. So it's an interesting high-flying offense, uses the back, uses motion, moving the back to the left side, to the right side, back to the left side, moving the tight end and the receivers back and forth. It just causes the defense to always be flat-footed because you don't understand about defense. You want to be able to read and react. That's a defense strength. When you're not able to do that, you got to read and check off and communicate. And what we talk about, communication, defense, that's good. But, the more that they're talking, they're not locked in, ready to go. And it causes you to second guess. So if it just gives you that split second to react, that's all offense needs, or cause you to miscommunicate, or cause you not to be able to give the signals clear because of something and you get confused. That's how you have that DK Metcalf 60-yard bomb down the field. So I'm loving what I see. Lamar Carter's the one that said Noah Fant dropped too many passes. He needs to block more. Well, when he blocked, he got blown up. So I don't know what you do with Noah Fant. It was really because I loved him coming out of Iowa. I loved him with the Broncos. I loved him last year. And I'm not gonna I'm gonna hold my Seahawks accountable. I'm a real fan. I just think he's just having a slow start to this new scheme, filling out his way. Sometimes you get like that when you're thinking too much. You will drop certain things. Sometimes your fundamentals become slippery when you're on the field thinking too much. Because even on that blitz, I don't know if you remember, but Noah Fant, it was an empty backfield. Noah Fant lined up in the slot, and the slot came in. It was obvious he was blitzing. Even though Noah Fant was going out, he just didn't even touch the guy. He should at least clipped him. He should have read that. Those are things that the receivers have to think like a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like a quarterback's checking for protection, lineman is seeing you're lined up in the slot. You see an obvious blitz, a creep up the blitz. You clip him before you go out. So he came in, boom, Geno Smith went down. So something to think about. DK Metcalf, I've been waiting for him to really separate on one-on-one. I just think there's not enough of him either getting the ball on one-on-one situations, or when the ball is thrown on one-on-one, him winning the one-on-one matchup. So I want to see more of that. If you want to compare, if he wants to be compared to a Calvin Johnson or whatever the case may be, that's what Calvin Johnson did. He won those. He won those one-on-one matchups. And like I said, I want to see more of that from a number one receiver. He makes some tough catches, yes, but I want to see him like really separate, really fine-tune the route running in such a way that he becomes more versatile, in that. So something to think about, because there's plenty of receivers that get separation that don't have the speed that DK Metcalf has. So that just tells you that, the writing's on the wall, that whatever he needs to learn to get into that next level, that's what he needs to do. But I love the offense. Anybody on defense that you're concerned about?
Concern? I want to say concern.
Or enthused.
I love Jenkins. The pickup we got from Jacksonville. He's flying. Yeah. He is flying. And Willen, even everybody said he had a bad year last year, but I don't know. As a corner and coverage, I feel like he even had a good year last year, and he's looking great this year. He obviously he wasn't as good tackling in the box as last year, but most corners don't want to tackle anyways. So that's just one thing. But it gets better. He dealt with a lot of injuries last year. Not making excuses for him, but coming this year fully healthy, I like how that looks too. Him and Spoon complement each other.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and then absolutely. Love and Jenkins complement each other too. Love plays sideline to sideline. Jenkins plays head down, wants to hit somebody.
One thing we have to understand that coaching matters, scheme matters. In professional sports, we always sometimes think you just need superstar players and great players, but there's been plenty of loaded, stacked teams that didn't amount to much. And what you're seeing is Jordan Love is excelling. Like, he's playing at such of a level that I'd never expected. He's playing far better than Diggs was playing last year. He's looking like Earl Thomas back there. He's looking like he looks faster, more explosive, more physical than I've ever seen him. And I think a lot of it was scheme and how they played him, used him last year. He was, so far back there. And however, they used him, but I just seen him more by the line of scrimmage. I see him more hitting people in the mouth. I didn't know that he had that physicality to his game like that. I just thought he was just a pretty balanced safety. overly physical or wasn't over. But man, you saw a little bit of glimpse of it last year against the Giants. He showed out first 2 games. Jordan Love looks like the best safety in football. Name a safety that looks better than Jordan Love right now. I mean, just name one. I mean, he did get bucked on Sunday, but then he came back and bucked. And that's what you want. Like, he got ran over, and it was a bad ran. He got ran over bad. But that just shows you the heart and guts of this defense. He didn't let that phase him. He just came up and just knocked the snot out of him. I think it was like the next series, I believe it was. But yeah, Jenkins with Love, and even that guy we got from I think Tennessee, number 24. I keep forgetting his name, but he balled too. He's that third safety rotation, number 24, I believe he is.
I even like the slot corners we got from Auburn too. The same build, like 6'2". They're both running 4.4s.
Who's that?
One's injured, so he didn't play. But we have another one that we just picked.
Oh, you're talking about the rookie teammates from Auburn?
Yeah,
I thought we cut one of them.
No, one's just injured.
Okay.
Yeah, but I like how he looks too, and I feel like once he gets more in the scheme, he could be more involved.
Yeah.
Him and Kobe Bryant are going to be good once they settle in.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a brief detour. I noticed that the Huskies lost to the Washington State Cougars. It's kind of weird watching. I'm so used to growing up watching the Apple Cup being at the end of the season.
Yeah, that was weird. I've never seen it that early.
So I kind of like it, but it does, because you're not playing your best football in the early, and rivalry games can be so tricky. So that's going to be interesting across the globe, seeing that. I think you had Oregon handled Oregon State, I believe was last week, Oh, yeah. But I don't know what to say about UW. They lost a lot for the draft, obviously, and they lose to the Cougars.
Yeah,
the Cougars beat Portland State 70-30, week 1. The quarterback looks awesome. When looking at the stats, he didn't throw for big numbers, but he did throw and run. The team looked, when just watching the game, the team looked physical. They looked like they were getting after it. They looked hungry. They looked more hungry than the Huskies. And like I said, I didn't even know his name. I had to Google his name. His name is Jake Dickert. I hope I'm saying that right. He was a defensive coordinator. Came on board in 2021. Originally played football at Wisconsin, and played ball, went to school there. But he looks like, just kind of looking into his background and just seeing how he is with his team. A lot of seniors on that team. They looked the part. Now, mind you, Huskies were riddled with lots of penalties. One would make the argument, but they lose the game coming down to the wire. They get stuffed on a 4th and 1 at the 3 or 4 yard line. That heck of a way to win a game on a goal line stand.
And they're bigger up front.
Yeah, up front.
A lot bigger.
Yeah, that's all heart. I don't too much care for the option to the right, but that's me. That option, they ran a basic option, not from the wishbone formation, but like a basic option that we used to run back in the early 90s and stuff. So I didn't too much care for that play call. But like I said, I don't know what to say about the Huskies, So yeah, the Washington State Cougar Mater is nice. Yeah. He is very nice. So big up to the Cougars. I think the Cougars play.
They've been playing a lot better than I thought they would too. Because they had just lost Cam Ward. I don't know if you know him, but he's a quarterback who just transferred to Miami. And he's already a Heisman candidate. Like he's throwing for 500 a game right now, almost. And losing him, I didn't think they was gonna look the same at all. But they look like. I mean, obviously he's not. The new quarterback's not Cam Ward, but they still don't look like they're mission to beat.
Yeah. So they beat. Like I said, they won 70-30. I think next week they play San Jose State, and then after that they play Boise. So I don't know. Cougars could be 4-0. See what happens. I think the Huskies, they play Northwestern next, getting into that Big Ten. We'll see what that looks like. And then after that, they play Rutgers, New York. So some of these games that you're not really familiar with. But like I said, the Huskies are rebuilding under Jed Fisher. And this is a big one for them to swallow because they dominate the Apple Cup. I think 116 games. I want to say the Huskies have won 76 of those Apple Cups. So they've dominated the series. And it's a huge disappointment for the UW program to lose to Washington State. You know, like I always tell the funny story about how I'm a fan of Cougars and Huskies. My stepfather used to watch, coming from Odessa, Texas, he used to watch the Cougars coming up here because he was from a small town in Texas. And he's told me he liked the Cougars. I watched Cougars before the Huskies. He told me he liked the Cougars because they don't have the resources like UW does. They don't have the money, the boosters. They don't have all that behind them like the Washington Huskies do. So they're the underdog always.
And that school's nowhere.
There's nothing there
too.
Yeah,
I've been there, and I've been to UW too. And trust me, I can tell you it's real different. There's nothing within 20 miles. And what city is it in again?
Oh, God.
I can't remember. But it's like 6 hours away. I drove there too, and nothing but hills. It's dirt.
Okay. Yeah, I can't think of the name of the city right now.
I know it for sure, but I just can't think of it off the top of my head.
I want to say that all they have is a movie theater, and I don't think it's open all the time. So it's a lot. So it's pretty much a party town. Difference between UW and Washington State is UW is just right down the street from the city. It's in the city. You can go north a few miles. There's a city. You go that way. The Central District is right there. Downtown Seattle is right there. So there's a lot more to do. So they have everything. They have everything in their disposal when it comes to recruiting and getting recruits. So that's one of those things of how I'm a fan of both. I represent the Northwest. Anything that's bringing lights in the Northwest, I'm for it because we're up here in the corner. They call us, Alaska up here. We're away from everything, so we don't get a lot of publicity like around the country. So I'm repping Northwest. All right. So Pullman, there we go. It's in Pullman.
There you go.
Thanks, Carter. All right, Carter. Yeah, Pullman. Oh my goodness. So back to talking about the Seattle Seahawks. They play Miami this week. Like I said, there's a lot to clean up, and I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it's probably going to be the most highest scoring game of the season. I'm predicting that. Miami's not going to pound the ball for 250 yards. They're going to challenge our defensive backs. Either they're going to step up or get ran right past. They've got the speed. They've got the explosion. Now, the quarterback situation, now that's the thing. I don't think we're going to face Tua.
No, Tua's down.
Okay, yeah. Down. So, who's the quarterback? That's the is it Tannehill? Is it Tannehill? Ryan Tannehill.
For real?
I think so. I think it's Ryan Tannehill. Correct me if I'm wrong. Social media, I believe it's Ryan Tannehill as the backup. So, and he can play. Tua isn't playing. Miami is going to run the hell of well. Well, like I said, that's not their strength, and I think their coach is going to play. He's going to call the game as he wants to call the game within his scheme. So they're going to throw, and they're going to use Tyreek Hill. They're going to use him in bubble screens. They're going to use him as reverse, even fake reverses. They're going to small little comeback routes over the middle, crossing routes. It's going to be a track meet. And it's going to be interesting to see those matchups. And I think you have extremely fast. Rick Hill is extremely fast. You got Witherspoon. Oh, my goodness. You got our guy.
Rick, he's fastest corner in the league.
Oh, man. So it's going to be Woolen. I'm sorry, Woolen. It's going to be a track meet. And I know it's always barking about DK and Hill talking about who's the fastest, but hey, Tyreek Woolen is in that too. So it's going to be interesting. How much man are we going to be playing? How much blitzing are we going to blitz? If we got a new quarterback in there, we're going to bring pressure. So it's going to be a lot of man-to-man. It's going to be a shootout. And if I was to predict the score, oh man, I don't know. I'm thinking Oh man, I don't want to put it out there, but I'm thinking it's going to be in the 30s. I think it might be in the 30s. And it all depends on the quarterback play, of course, of the Miami Dolphins. If the quarterback play is above average, it's going to be in his 30s. If not, then I think we'll win lopsided. Well, they might score 17, and we'll score 31. I'll say 31-17. But like I said, if the quarterback play is good, then it could be both teams in his 30s, and I think that would be the highest scoring game this year. With that being said, oh yeah, man, how could I forget about that? Lamar Carter said DK versus Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, that's the matchup.
That's it right there. That's it right. That's prime time TV. Get your popcorn ready, and that's going to be a fight. That's going to be a fight. But like I said, there's, Jackson Smith. I mean, don't think that Jalen Ramsey ain't gonna be following maybe Jackson Smith and Jigma, because like I said, he's playing like the number one.
But Jalen don't cover the slot.
He will. He might cover the slot against Seattle. Maybe not. I know. Was it last year when DK went motion? Mm-hmm. And he was calling for Ramsey to come on, and Ramsey's like, "Nah," But I think Ramsey was upset that the defense coordinator would not allow him to follow because of whatever their scheme was. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. And like I said, it's going to be all types of matchups because, like you said, DK's in the slot a lot now, and they're doing all different types of things with him. Running the little bubble screens with all the receivers. It's going to be an interesting matchup. Dolphins will bring the big plays and play action. Okay. So Lamar Carter believes that there's going to be a lot of big plays due to play action for the Dolphins. But how big threat is their running game?
It's not.
I guess when I think of the Dolphins, I might be just.
That's why I don't know. For some reason, I don't see it being as close as it was with New England because Raheem Mostert's not playing. He's out. I mean, that's the fastest back in football. They even say he might be faster than Tyreek. Tyreek said he might be faster than him too. And on top of that, that's really all they have in the run game. And I want to see Woolen shadow Tyreek. I feel like most of the attention is gonna be on Tyreek because he's the playmaker. Might not even just on the team, but in football. Now.
He is the playmaker.
He's the number one playmaker in football as of right now. So I feel like once we shut, everything else goes out the window. Because I just seen them get dominated by Buffalo. And Buffalo don't have no notable receivers on their squad no more. Stephon just left. Gabe Davis just left.
Line of scrimmage.
Everything just left. But Josh Allen was doing what he wanted to do.
Yeah, Buffalo in that game just physicality and nastiness.
That's how I feel like we're gonna win the game.
Yeah,
a whole bunch of physicality.
Yeah.
I want to see because I'm trying to run the ball at least 20 and 25 carries.
Yeah. My buddy, Mr. Lamar Carter talks about New England running down our throats. Can we stop the run? So I'm going to emphasize this, like I said before. I think it's more of a scheme responsibility thing, not a physicality. And like I said, I think it's New England's offensive line. They're horrible pass blockers, but they can all run block. They are maulers, and that's what they do. They might be arguably the best run offense in football. And half of it is not necessarily because they're, how can I say this? It's because they can't pass really well that they have to run the football, and they're desperate to run the football. And I think it's more of that. I don't think that Miami has that type of presence, has that type of physicality in them to duplicate what New England does. Matter of fact, New England might be the best running football team in football. I mean, name somebody else who is as physical running the ball
as a week two. That's what it looks like.
That's what it looks like. So if that's the best there is, I think Seattle will be fine. I mean, when you look at the numbers, they ran. I'm not going to take it away. They ran down our throats, but I think when we got towards the overtime, that's when Seattle defense got stingy. And listening to Mike McDonald, and I believe in the coaching. I believe in the culture, and I believe him wholeheartedly when he says McDonald's not putting the right players in the right position. Matter of fact, little man Bogan next to me said that earlier. He said he didn't see the right people side by side. If I correct me if I'm wrong, he didn't see the players that he thought that should be in those positions on those. And that like takes. That's one of the things that you just kind of flow with coaching and culture and figuring things out. Mike McDonald's is still trying to figure out which player does the best in the situation. And once they get to that point, I think they'll be fine. Yeah. Is Kendrick Walker playing? What is his status?
Day by day.
Yeah, day by day. I don't know what's wrong with it. It seems like him. He gets a lot of these little. He looks fine during the game. I watched him in the fourth quarter of the Broncos, and he looks just great. I don't know if it's what's that thing that when you don't feel pain, adrenaline. That once the adrenaline settles from a professional football game, all of a sudden something is by the way, I got my thigh. Oh, my thigh was hurting. I didn't feel it. They shot me up with the drugs, and I was pumped and excited. I don't know if come Monday it's like something's not working, or if it happened during practice. I don't know. But it seems like you see these players go on during the game, but all of a sudden they're scratched for the next week. Someone help me with that. I'm trying to figure that out. Well, how does Kenneth Walker all of a sudden just be injured out of nowhere? How does McIntosh seem to be just like selling during preseason? The next thing you know, he's injured. These guys with these little injuries. I don't know. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. So anything else you have for today?
I think about covered it all.
Yeah.
Hawks.
Yeah. So what's your pick for the score for the Seahawks Miami game? What's your score? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna just say 34-17. We win.
I got two. There's only two outcomes. It could just be either a tight game because our offense struggles and Tyreek beats Tyreek, or I could either see a blowout and just being dominant, like 31-13 type of game.
Okay. Awesome. So I did not announce it in the beginning. So every Saturday, I want you guys all to come down to the Waterland Arcade. They're sponsoring Northwest Sports Talk 206. It's in Des Moines. I don't have to give you the address anymore because now, that was the old way. That's how old people used to do it. But now I just tell you to Google the Waterland Arcade, 12:30. The first 5 people to come, I have tickets for you. The first 5 people to come gets free food. All right. The first 5 people, we're going to have barbecue there, a special menu. You have to come and see rib tips, baked beans are the for shrimp and grits and some other stuff. So come on down. LNS Soul Food and Barbecue. We'll be selling food there at the Waterland Arcade as well. Like I said, come on down. I believe that tonight at the Waterland Arcade in Des Moines is karaoke night. So if you're looking for something to do, every Tuesday night is karaoke night. You can go to their Facebook page, the Waterland Arcade, Google them. You can find their social media, their Instagram. There'll be more. I think it's 9 o'clock, but don't quote me on that. But most karaoke usually starts around 9 o'clock. So come on down, go to karaoke night. They have drinks, they have unlimited arcades, party atmosphere. They have DJs. Man, it's an awesome experience. It's a place you can bring the whole family, even for the karaoke. So they have all the types of things throughout the week, all types of parties. It's a nice venue. You can rent it out the place. It is an awesome place. So like I said, the first 5 people that come to the table and stay for the podcast, okay? Stay for at least the first 30 minutes. Stay for the podcast. Be a part of the live audience. You will get a ticket to go out to the booth and get some free food. I don't know about you, but food always tastes better when it's free. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about that. Love me some free food. So the first 5 people that come be a part of the live audience. Scott will be there. Andre Prim will be there. Shout out to Teresa, the manager of the place in this partnership. Thank you so much, Teresa. We love you here at Northwest Sports Talk 206. Like I said, every Saturday at 12:30, come on down and be a part of the live podcast. Myself, Lavelle Big Man Bogan, next to me, Jalen Little Man Bogan. Like I said, it's kind of an inside thing because neither one of us are small by any stretch of the imagination. We enjoy being on here. We will be randomly doing podcasts leading to Saturday. Go Seahawks, man, as they look to tackle the Miami Dolphins and be 3-0 under Mike McDonald. And I'm telling you right now, I want to end with this. There's a couple of teams in the NFC that we need to be worried about because I think it's a straight shoot to the Super Bowl. I really believe it. But there is a couple of teams I'm worried about. Number one is the Saints. The Saints are looking on fire. What they did to Dallas should be illegal. They should be arrested. They should have a warrant for their arrest of how they ran through the Dallas Cowboys.
They're not even getting a receiver involved. And they're still doing that.
Exactly. And then you have the Minnesota Vikings, who just thrashed the 49ers.
And Justin Jefferson only played 2 quarters.
Oh, man. He was doing whatever he wanted to do. So those are a couple of teams, that, when it comes to and Philly's a problem too. Once they get all the way healthy, Philly's a problem.
Yeah.
So we've got 3 teams, we're up there, the top 4. That's going to be a problem. But like I said, it's only week 2. People come down to earth. Injuries happen. People start playing bad. People start figuring you out. People start watching tape. And that's one thing you always got to worry about. You have smart people who are coordinators, and they are paid a nice salary that we can all live off of for years and years to come. And they sit 8, 9, 10, 12 hours a day reading how you move, and they watch and they study you, and they come up with game plans to shut you down. So some of this fire is going to be just a little bit of smoke. So we're going to see who really got the substance here by week 6. By week 6, everyone has figured everyone out. And then, people will separate. People will come down to earth who are playing at a high level. People will rise from the gutter. We'll see. Probably the only team that's going to stay in the gutter is the Cleveland Browns. And matter of fact, I'm going to go there with the Cleveland Browns. I don't know what happened with Watson. Watson was considered the Michael Jordan of football. He doesn't have the elusiveness anymore. He looked like he's old. Like, I don't know what happened.
You didn't watch the game last week?
I mean, just a little bit.
I ain't gonna lie. Watson. He was one of my favorite quarterback coming out of college too. I'm not gonna lie. But the receiver, they done dropped 13 passes last year.
Okay.
And O-line, that's only a run block, just like New England. Run block, because they got Nick Chubb, so obviously they're going to want to run. But, man, he's running for his life back there, and he don't look like he lost a step athletically, so it's a lot harder to run for your life back there.
But that's what they paid him. They paid him $300 trillion
It might just be the coaching situation. It's like, you look at it, look what Baker's doing.
Yeah.
Baker pinned up 300, and Baker when Baker was with Cleveland, the offense was stacked. Him, Odell, Jarvis Landry, Nick Chubb. Now all of them are gone and basically exceeding. Everybody's exceeded since they left Cleveland. So I don't know. They might just need to figure that out.
Yeah, that's true.
I've yet to see a player not exceed after leaving Cleveland since like 2018, 2017.
Yeah, that's true. Just because you brought that, that's one thing. I'm not sure if Andre Prim brought that up about quarterback development. That was part of our notes that we're going to get into. And yes, we can get into it now since you brought that up. If the Baltimore Ravens did not change their whole scheme to fit what Lamar Jackson does well, will Lamar Jackson be Lamar Jackson? So, with that being said, one of the thing that has made quarterbacks become more successful, I think now more than they have in the past, is coordinators' willingness to create packages or create or just play call and come up with plays that the quarterback coming out of college is comfortable with. When we look at Carr, is it David Carr from the Knicks?
Yeah.
Okay. His brother was a first overall pick. And he was phenomenal, but he was sacked the more times than any quarterback in the history of football. And he just came to a trash team. Number 1 pick goes to the worst team. And he became gun shy, hearing footsteps in the dark, so to speak. And he fell off. He had a nice backup career with the Giants, backing up Eli, and played some pretty good football. But I think that if he would have went to a better team, and just was able to take the time with him, I think he would have been a Pro Bowl quarterback. And there's so many quarterbacks that fall through the crack, like you said, system. How is it that Baker Mayfield is now playing lights out where he's at now compared to what he was? What is it? Is it coaching? Is it culture? Is it a little bit of both? Is it how you use a quarterback? I always thought Baker Mayfield. I wanted Baker Mayfield when he was available. Yeah. I thought Baker Mayfield is the truth.
His rookie year, he came out 3,000 plus yards, broke the touchdown record for QB. The next couple years in Cleveland, I don't know what happened.
Yeah. So we'll see. But what I'm saying is this: if you take Lamar Jackson and put him with the Cleveland Browns and just run the same plays that Cleveland runs, Lamar Jackson is not Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
he's not. You know what I'm saying? One would argue that he would be doing the same thing Deshaun Watson was doing. Don't know. My friend Lamar Carter brought up Lamar Jackson needs more help. Derrick Henry has done nothing for Baltimore. Well, that's what happens when you sign a running back on his last leg. Understand, Derrick Henry can still get it done and be productive, but he's not the Derrick
leg.
Yeah, last leg.
I don't know about that.
Last leg.
And I'm not a Derrick Henry fan at all.
When I say last leg, I mean on the last stem of his career. At the last leg of his career. He's what, 33?
Nah, he's not 33.
You sure?
But he's at least 30.
He's got to be at least 32. He got to be same age as Tyler. Tyler Lock is 32.
That's crazy.
Okay, worst case scenario, he is 30 or 31.
He came out of Bama. Remember, it was him and Josh Jacobs.
Oh,
Bama together.
It just seems like playing for so long.
It does.
Okay, you might be right, but he's at the tail end. Obviously, you know what I'm saying. He's not the same he was 6 years ago or 5 years ago, whatever. When he was,
and they don't got no true receiver. Like Zay Flowers is good, but he's a gadget receiver. He's jet sweeps running across. They don't got no receiver running the whole route tree. Mark Andrews not looking the same. Isaiah Likely is their number one target, and you line up a receiver, he's a tight end.
Yeah,
but
that's the thing. Do you?
And they let go of J.K. Dobbins, and he's looking nice.
Yeah.
He's averaging 130 a game.
Yeah, but how many receivers let's say a Jackson Smith and Jigma or an AJ Brown or Justin Jefferson wants to really play with Lamar Jackson?
That's
and not to say
understand that
or playing that system, that gadget system, that running the ball, throwing quarterback.
That makes sense because the last receiver that played with them and had a lot of success was Marquise Brown.
Yeah,
and he hasn't even been like a true number one receiver since leaving them, but he's a gadget guy. He fits their scheme, fast, quick. All the type of stuff they like in their offense. You need
to play receiver for the Baltimore Ravens. You need to have the mindset and the skill set like a Doug Baldwin when he played for Seattle back in Russell Wilson early days. Always adjusting to the route. You know what I'm saying? The scramble out. You need that type of receiver. You know what I'm saying? How would Jackson Smith and Jigma fare playing with Lamar Jackson in that system? I use him to the best of his. And if I'm a receiver and I'm looking to get paid for my next contract, I don't want to play in that system. You know what I'm saying? I want to play with a Tom Brady, or Warren Moon, or Dan Marino, Peyton Manning type quarterback that's going to.
I want to play with a quarterback that's dropping back 50 times a game.
Exactly, because that's how I'm going to maximize my ability and maximize my generational wealth. So that's just the thinking. But like I said, they need to upgrade the tight ends. Who's their tight end?
Baltimore?
Yeah.
They got two studs.
Okay.
They just can't. Mark Andrews?
Yes.
Top 3 in the last couple of years before injury last year. And Isaiah Likely came out last year and was 1,000-yard receiver.
But I was saying, who's their tight end? I didn't hear him much last game.
Oh, last game? No.
Or week 1?
No, Isaiah Likely did everything week 1.
Okay.
Mark Andrews, I don't know what's going on. They got him playing online now. I don't know
because of the offensive line. There's some new offensive linemen, so they're shaking that thing up too as well. And now that we're on Baltimore, they're 0-2,
and then they gotta go play in Dallas.
Yeah, they do. They do. Are they really? Or is their defense missing Mike McDonald? Because they sure are.
And Patrick Queen.
Yeah, they did lose Patrick Queen. Absolutely. You lost 2 leaders on your defense.
Marlon Humphrey been injury prone.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. That's true. That's true. So we're gonna see. Like I said, I'm excited. So join us for Saturday, 12:30. Come and see. Like I said, first 5 people, free food at the Waterland Arcade. Shout out to Teresa and the Waterland Arcade staff. Like I said, if you need something to do tonight, go do some karaoke there. Tell them that Northwest Sports Talk 206, the big Bogan, little Bogan, told you to come out there and give a shout out to them. They'll love to have you. It's a great place to bring your whole family. So we're leaving.
Kids out.
Exactly. So we're leaving here like Northwest Sports Talk 206, sponsored by Waterland Arcade and LNS Soul Food and Barbecue. Until next time, go Hawks.